Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I think my voice is getting back to normal. My cough from the trip, I think, is a lot better, which is great because I've got a big work week on this week. I think it's like I've got two big things on this week, and then culminating in a really great way to, I guess, end the formal work year in terms of clients. I've still got a lot of things to do behind the scenes in terms of preparation for next year. So doing a lot of still talking to clients, but not doing, I guess, anything sort of front facing, a lot of work in the back end of December. But yeah, celebrating with heading to the Ashes the first day, heading with a good friend, Jane Menzies. We had a lovely corporate suite booked in last year, and we're like, it was quite funny because Jane lives not too far away from me, and we're like, oh, hilarious, we'll see you next year at the Ashes. That's like the next time. And it's true, we did not make time to catch up anytime this year, but actually like that every time I see her, it's at this really amazing event. So that's happening on Thursday. It's going to be very exciting given that Australia won the first test, and England are definitely going to be very competitive, I imagine. Just hope the weather in Brisbane improves later on the week. But yeah, I've just come back from a weighted vest walk, so I'm continuing that. And there's a few things I'd love to continue from my training, things that I learned from Nepal. I guess yesterday I went on the Peloton treadmill and I did a walk on there, and it's the first time out of 14,000 people, I finished in the top 700. That's my best ranking. It was my personal best for walking. These are the things I want to continue. It's I've just, obviously got a lot of muscle built on the walk, and I don't want to lose it. So that's one thing. Like I said, the weighted vest walk, that's something else I want to do. Actually might end up having to buy a new vest because I want to actually include more weight on that. If you're not into that already, it's kind of like strength training, but it's also, we're in the outdoors, you're moving around. And I was catching up, listening, I kind of binge listened to 2 podcast episodes from Tactful Pettiness, which is a podcast from Cody Rigsby, my favorite Peloton instructor, and his best friend, Andrew Chappelle. What I love about that podcast, they're very funny. I love Cody's sense of humor, but they also keep me up to date with all the pop culture. So, and I'm not strong on pop culture, to be honest, but in terms of new musicians, new movies, things like that, they're just brilliant to follow and very funny. The other thing I've been doing this weekend is trying to just stop. I've been very social Thursday, Friday. I was out catching up with friends at conferences at my old company. Tim from there organizes annual drinks. So just really haven't stopped since I've come back. And so this weekend I'm like just stop a little bit. And I finished reading a book that I had at Nepal. It was called How to Stop Time. It's a fictional book, very easy to read, the type of book where you can read a couple pages, fall asleep, then pick it up again, and you haven't lost your place. You don't have to reread certain parts. So that was good. Finished that. I ended up watching a doco that was recommended by Lockie from the trip. It's the Untold Story, which is a series, but this one was the episode on Australia's victory at the America's Cup. And it was the best thing I've ever seen. If you like The Last Dance, that thing on Chicago Bulls, again, that's probably my favorite doco ever. This is really close. Oh, actually, I lie. That's probably my second favorite. My favorite is the making of the Super Bowl halftime show with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. That's my favorite all-time doco. But Last Dance is second, and this one would be top 3. I cried. I didn't realize the effort the Aussies went to beat the Americans first time in 120 years. The redesign of the boat. It has anything. It's just everything about sort of innovation, teamwork, spirit, being an underdog, winning. It was so good. Only goes for an hour, 20 minutes. So highly recommend that. So yeah, I mean, this podcast today is really just, I guess, an update. The other thing I did, so it doesn't sound like I've been resting, but I have been lying there with a laptop in my hand, was investigating flights for next year and travel plans. Next year, I've got a lot of stuff. I feel like my year is already locked in terms of travel and trips, and I like that. The reason why I like that is because it's good to set aside those chunks, and then because I'm a business owner, I get to work around that with clients. Sometimes, unfortunately, I miss things, but I think this is the philosophy of my favorite podcaster, Sean D'Souza. His podcast called The 3-Month Vacation. The whole thing about that is actually putting in, what do you want to actually do next year? And then those are the big rocks. You lock them into your calendar, and then you find that life we'll work around it. It's really hard to do it the other way, where you just like kind of let serendipity run and then book some things in. The only thing I don't like about this approach for next year though is it's like, do I have enough time and spaciousness to do everything? Because I got quite a few work commitments, got these trips. So Queenstown, beginning of January, Thailand, like the end of January, not very long. And then Europe in September for a convertible tour, which will be incredible. And just figuring out side trips off the back of that before locking in flights. And then hopefully New York City Marathon. So this is what I mean. I'm not going away for huge periods of time. Like there's like 1 or 2 weeks at a time, but still it's like just, yeah, again, just like locking them in the calendar so they happen. So I'm curious, like, are you starting to plan your 2026? Have you got your things locked in already? Oh yeah, plus I'm running a conference next year in June, and I've also got something very exciting coming out in October. So yeah, this is like, I think as I look at 2026, it's like, my gosh, there's like all these things that are locked in. And then I guess the challenge then will be the execution and making it happen. But yeah, curious to hear about your approach for planning the new year. What do you do? How do you look forward? Do you leave space for things? One thing I'd love to do, which I haven't committed to yet, Jenny Blake used to talk about this. She would have, like every quarter, she would put like just block out a week to do like strategy and to think. So every 90 days, I'm out a week in the calendar. I guess there's nothing wrong with that approach. I could do it. But I'm just like, like, I guess maybe it's because I've been away for 3 weeks. So I'm so ready just to get back into, like I said, I've got a lot of work stuff this week, and I don't know, I'm just keen to use my brain and like keen to create things. So I just don't really need a holiday right now, but what a great problem to have. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.